Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Brands Hatch. We are here live at the fifth round of the 2SRL League's GT3 series, and we have 16 drivers on track today, which is a good amount, I would say. And joining me on and I am Icewind, by the way. Seem to forget to say that every time on the stream, but joining me on the comms today is Mr. Wimpy. Hello, Wimpy.
Hello everyone. I think we're in for another great show again tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this track, Brent Head's brilliant track in the US. I mean, US Britain, sorry, Great Britain. Track that has held the Formula One race in 1986, won by Nigel Mansell, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some great racing here today after what happened 2 weeks ago. The current championship leader, Mr. Hugos, in the lead with 90 points, and then Pretoria's second, it was 66.
Yeah, and Hugo.
And then, yeah, the championship favorite on 56 points, Mr. Thimo Brown.
That's correct. And Hugo coming to this race with 3 back-to-back victories from Road America, Nürburgring, and also Austria. A very eventful race 2 weeks ago where we saw plenty of action and crashes and all sorts. And let's hope it's a little bit more clean today, I guess. But yeah, we're about to find out. And so everybody pretty much out there on their first runs. We're running with Pretorius at the moment on the stream, and I think Pretorius will be the first guy to set the lap time here. He's coming across the line and looks to be a pretty decent lap. 24.3. That is still 8 tenths or something slower than what we saw in
Yeah,
practice a
it's,
few
it's a
minutes ago.
decent opening lap. I mean, it's
And
probably just to get his eye in, but yeah, sorry about that.
yeah, Cursed instantly beats that with a 23.9, so yeah, that's good stuff from Cursed. And I know for a fact that Cursed has put a lot of practice on this track, and yeah, it's good to see him up there. Thimo and Hugo actually set a lap time as well, so the order, 5 people have set a lap time, and Cursed, Thimo, Hugo, and Pretorius are the top 4. And Terror Incognita goes now 5th, so also Terror is back from his trip to the US and is joining us on track again today.
Oh yes, for sure. Good to have that great talent back on track, Mr. Incognito.
That's right.
Yeah, as we witnessed the practice sessions earlier, I must say it looks pretty damn close. Within the top 5 was only separated by 2 tenths, man, and it was separated very interestingly by 2 different types of cars, which was the Ferraris, BMWs, and McLarens, of course. So
Yep.
with this
So
track with a lot of elevation, I think the cars with the more torque on the wheels, and I'm not sure if you will agree with me.
yeah,
That'll
I
probably
think
be the
so.
cars being more competitive.
Yeah, and I guess this suits for the BMW. I'm a little bit surprised it does because I know the BMW is a little bit of an understeery car, but looks like it suits them quite well because I know Thimo has been very competitive all over all during the week leading up to this race on the practice runs.
Yeah, he's very keen to come back onto his form, man. He's recently lost a little bit of his form, but by the looks of things, he's been grinding hard to come back and get his form back, and so far so good.
Yeah, shout out here to Bailey, well, not Bailey, but let's say Mr. Thompson Senior. So Neil Thompson is joining us on track as well today. So you probably know Bailey Thompson from our SLR League, runner-up to the championship this year in Tier 1, and his dad is actually on track today with us. So
Wow, that's amazing.
yep,
Hello, Mr. Bailey Thompson. It's Dad. Good to have him around, man.
yep, and
Like father, like son.
Neil coming across the line. I think he's about to start his first flying lap. So maybe oh, he's actually set the lap time. Sorry, so my my timing app didn't quite update there, but yes, Neil sets a lap time of 1:27.0 and goes 9th at this point in time.
Not a bad lap.
Nope. Terror Incognita starts a flying lap here, so let's stay with Terror for now. And Terror is fractionally up on his time so far. Going through the slow section of the first half of the lap toward the long winding left-hander here that leads to the fast section. Yeah, sorry. Oh, Hugo. Hugo sets the fastest lap of the race as we're watching this. 23.6.
That is a pretty damn good lap.
Yep. Terror still up on his time.
Thimo sets the fastest lap at 1:23.5.
Yeah, so that's pretty close to what Thimo set during the week in the practice session. So he's up to speed for sure.
Good to have him back, man. Good to have him back.
Yep.
Well done, Mr. Thimo Brown. We're looking forward to an astonishing race from you and Terra.
Yep. Our championship favorite, Thimo.
Oh, for sure.
Terra is almost 3/10 up, coming down to the final corner of the lap, and tackles it quite nicely.
4/10 up now, wow.
Yeah, so Terra is definitely gonna jump at least a position here. Let's see what he does. So he goes 4th with a 1:24.1. So the top four are actually Thimo and Paul with the BMW, and then there are the 2 Ferraris splitting between them. So
yeah, the person I'm really looking forward in being very competitive up in the front is Mr. Benz.
Yep.
He's shown some really good pace in the practicing earlier, and he was actually the fastest, to be honest.
And Benz is on a lap here, I think. Oh, and gets a bit of a slide through. That's corner 7, I think. Yes. But trying to look at the map as well as at the same time. So Bant's about to set his first time on the board, coming across the line, and let's see what Bant can set here. Or yeah, he did. So that was a scruffy lap by Bant, 25.2.
Yes, really not up the pace.
Yep. So he instantly goes out again.
We know he's definitely capable of doing a 1:23.6 or 7ish, even less if he gets it out.
And where is our Mr. OceanChief? My timing app says he's on an out lap, but let's see if it's correct or not. So Chief, I think, yes, starts a lap here. So let's see what Chief can do. I know Chief has put a lot of practice on this track as well, so I'm expecting something like a 24 something from him. This
also the 2 Ferrari guys, the new team, I would say, pretty new.
Oh,
Clara and Weldefunke, they also in the mix. Clara did a pretty average lap at the P7.
7th at the moment. Pretorius goes P3 while we're looking at that with 23.7, only under 2/10 from Pole. And,
sorry, everybody in chat, just confirm that our audio is good. You can hear both of us clearly, nothing.
Yep.
And also welcome back, Revo. I haven't seen you on chat for a while, man.
I think it was 2 weeks ago anyway, so
oh, okay. I haven't
I remember him saying something about Spinala when there was some action in the late in the race. So Chief, where is Chief?
Okay, so I take it the audio is good, guys.
Yep, I guess so.
Like it. Nobody's complaining so far.
Chief is not having a good time in this qualifying so far. He's not set a lap time yet, and we have 5 minutes left to.
I can see that. Yeah, I'm looking for him on my time sheet and I can't find him.
Yeah, so he doesn't have a time yet. Let's see if we can find somebody here. Bant is on a quick lap here, I think. He's 7/10 up, 8/10 up now on this best time. So Bant's, and we're kind of expecting this, to be honest, because Bant's was the fastest guy in the practice we just ended before this race. So Bant is already a second up on his time.
That is good news.
And tackles the fast section. Still a second up. Let's see if he can pull together.
See, the track temperature is currently 26 degrees with a 21 degree air temperature. Absolutely no wind at the moment, so the grip level should be pretty Not the best at the moment, but it should be okay.
Yeah, Bantz looks like a very cautious lap this one, so I wonder if he's just trying to make sure he sets at least one lap before he actually pushes for it again, because he's well down the order now. At the moment.
1.2 tens up already.
Yeah, and Bantz
1.2 seconds, sorry.
across the line with a 24.1. That's definitely better, but still well off his practice pace. So yeah, a little bit surprising.
Come on, Mr. Brand.
So who else can we grab here on a quick lap? Thimo on a lap here as well. He's a tenth down at the moment. And see if I can make anything through this fast section here. Throws the car in nicely, keeps it on track. Into 6. Gotta run wide and then keep it all the way to the left and then flick it in. This is a very blind corner when you are on board in a car.
Cool shin curve here.
And Thimo doesn't look like he's quite up on his time. He's a couple of tenths down on his best attempt so far, so looks like Thimo will not be able to improve here. And he will not, so see if we can grab somebody else here. Hugo on a lap here. He's actually up on his provisional pole time so far, almost a tenth up. So
this man's absolutely flying.
Yep, and
1/10 up already.
Yep, and he's approaching the fast section. So let's see how his Ferrari handles through these fast right-handers.
Goes through Horton's bend, nice and wide. Oh, it goes off slightly off the track, doing some farming, but he's still 1.3 tens up on his time.
Yeah, so this looks to be a very much hot lap for Hugo, and actually picks up even more time there, 2 tenths up already.
That was
so
a brilliant exit that he got there.
Yeah, and still over 2 tenths up. So this looks to be a low 23, which I believe is very good on this track. And Hugo,
great lap by
Hugo coming across the line, and this will just strengthen his provisional pole time, 23.3, and he is almost 2.5 tenths clear of Thimo at this point. And yeah, Mr. Terror actually improves as well, and Terror goes P4. 5 tenths down.
Thimo going on an outlap again, I see.
Kirst also starting a lap here. And Kirst is up on his time, but then again loses it through that corner, so not quite there for Mr. Milos Martika there yet, but I'm expecting a good race from him as well today.
Yeah, I think we are up for a great Ferrari versus BMW scrap here, with Pretorius being caught up in the middle with that McLaren.
Yeah, and I'm kind of expecting Vance to be there as well, to be honest, at least based on the practice we just saw, because he did a 23.4 there, I think. So it will be an interesting race, and this track is actually really difficult, so if you can keep out of trouble, that will be key here.
Yeah, the track pitch is slightly cooler than what it was in practice earlier.
Yep.
I don't know if that affects the lap time slightly, probably, but not that much.
Yep.
I don't really think it's that much of a difference.
Pretorius here on a flyer, he's 2 tenths up, so he might threaten Thimo here if he manages to get this final corner right, and he does, because he's 3 tenths up now, and I think he's gonna take Thimo here up to the line. So Pretorius into P2 across the line.
Ooh.
And that is his best lap time of this week as well, 23.3. So
we have a McLaren on the first row.
Yep. So we have 3 first spots on the grid filled by 3 different cars, so Ferrari, McLaren, and a BMW. So
interesting.
Chief.
Oh, Thimo makes a mistake. I mean, that's Thimo, yeah. Thimo goes off.
Chief.
Fans on the lap.
Unable to improve here, so Chief is kind of frozen here in this quali session. I would have expected
Ben's currently on the lap, and he's almost 2 tenths up.
Okay, so we'll follow Bant through. He's coming across the fast section to the final blind
beautiful
corner.
turn.
Yeah, 2/10 up still. So Bantz is potentially gonna threaten Curse here at least. And will he be able to do that? We're about to find out.
210s up.
Going to the final corner, and looks like it's a very good line through there. So I think Bantz will go to P5 here. Across the line, and Bantz P5, yes.
Great. That's more like it, Mr. Bantz.
Yep. So he left it to the last.
Alright. I think we're in for a great race, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Three different cars in the top 3.
So can we find some decent that's not a good
Oh yes. Let's do the last to finish first challenge, okay?
Yeah. Okay, I'll just go on my keyboard here. I don't even know what my bindings are, but
no.
So I'm gonna try to catch the start, and then I will retire my car. So we have a 30-second countdown to the race.
I will beat you to the pits.
Yep. I'll stay out for a little while, just see some of this action. Then quickly pop out. So we have the lights up already on the board. And let's see, 4 lights, 5 lights, 6 lights, and we are go at Brands Hatch. Looks like a very good start from Pretorius, and he's already alongside Hugo into turn 1, but decides to think better of it and stays behind. That Bantz up into P3 actually, so Thimo didn't get the best of starts here. And they're all coming, looks like there is no major contact on track. And I'm gonna
retire your car?
Yeah, I did just now, so then hopping back to action. So Hugo leads the pack, Pretorius in second. That Bantz managed to get a good jump on Thimo and is in P3 at the moment. And Thimo and Incognita, the 2 BMWs running in P4 and 5, and Toto with a very good start as well in P6, I think. So looks like everybody's got away safely, and there hasn't been any major contact yet. So let's see how this develops. It's like Hugo is building a little bit of a gap at the moment over Pretorius, and that Bantz is challenging Pretorius quite hard at the moment.
Great start by everybody so far, no carnage.
Yep. And Toto runs wide there, and I think does Popo get a...
Oh, this is Crash! Speedy and OceanChief, is that? No, it's Chish and OceanChief.
Oh,
Someone went into OceanChief, straight into the barriers, both Audis out, and OceanChief.
Oh no.
Oh
so
no.
Chief is all the way down to the bottom of the list, and there were a bunch of cars there. I saw, I think Neil Thompson was one of these cars involved in this crash, but he's managed to get back on track. Okay, so see anything else
No.
out there at the moment? So I'm gonna
on Clara at the moment, passing in JJ.
Yep.
Pass on from Clara's side.
I wonder if Clara is also involved in this incident here, because an OceanChief overtakes Speedy at the back of the grid. Both run wide there, the AstroTurf, and yeah, it's trying to see. I think Chief's car looks a little bit battered up, so I wonder if he's got some damage in that car. It's been an unlucky first lapper. Chief once again. It was the same 2 weeks ago in Austria, so he's gonna have a long evening back there. But let's go up front again. So Hugo and this looks to be just as tight as we imagined it would be, because the top 4 are within a second from each other, and Terra Incognita also quite close to them in 5th, and behind Terra there is a little bit of a gap to Toto, which is 2.6 seconds now. And did Danny retire there? Did I see that right? So Danny is disconnected from the server. I wonder. Oh, there is a crash at the back. There is a crash at the back, and there is
oh no.
Manku and who is that? Manku and Veld Meneke are out. Oh no, I didn't see what happened there. I just saw them beached on the gravel into into the final corner, and Chief and Clara actually fighting hard here as well. So I think.
Yeah, I see the top 5 also pretty much punched up.
Yeah, and Chief looks to have pretty good pace here, but he's of course massively compromised with that lap 1 incident. He's running in P11 at the moment, so
Pretty solid. It's unfortunate for him with that
yeah.
incident now, but I'm sure he will make a great comeback try.
And Clara is of course in danger because he's in Chief's P10, which we all know is basically
Mr. P10.
yeah. So okay. Just having a look here. So yeah, Pretorius really hanging on to Hugo here. So he's been pretty much 0.7 seconds from Hugo the entire race, I think. And they're just trading fastest lap times on at the lead of the race at the moment. And this is a very familiar sight actually. So we've seen this at Road America and Nürburgring GP, where Hugo and Pretorius fight all the way to the line. Bantz is falling a little bit back, and he runs really wide there into 5. And Thimo and Terror are trying to put some pressure on Pants here. But I know it's quite difficult to overtake on this track. So they have their work cut out for them for sure. And yeah, Cursed actually. I wonder what's happened to Milos actually, because he's making a move on Popo now into turn 6. But Cursed has.
I'm just a little bit quiet here, man. I'm just struggling with my layout on my screen. For some reason, it just went bold.
Okay, yeah, it's it probably will update when they go across the line the next time again. It's I know that sometimes does that to me too. I wonder what happened to Cursed, by the way, because he's fallen well back here. So as we discussed with the Chief in the practice session we just had, Cursed might have to change his name to Bless or something to get a little bit more luck here. So I think he's had I wonder if he's had a contact with somebody, because I've totally missed that. So Cursed down in P7. And yeah, it's looking like the top 5 is just running away with this race, but they can't really make any difference between each other so far. So Hugo, Pretoria, that band, Thimo and Incognita all running within a second of each other there in top 5.
It seems like the BMWs are kind of struggling to keep up with them. They're really pushing out. You can see by the behavior of the car. They're really trying to hold on, you know. I don't know, I think Hugo's and Pretorius is looking really strong with Bands in third.
Yep, and Toto in P6 has fallen a little bit off this pack up front, and he's about 5 seconds from Terror. And Cursed, yes, this is kind of expected that Cursed will challenge Toto soon for P6, and then Milos will really have to step on it to try and catch up to the leaders of this race, but it's gonna be difficult, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
He'll have to somehow find 6 seconds up front, so and of course get past Toto as well first. So
Thimo is on a personal best lap, yeah. He's starting to close the gap slowly but surely.
Yep. And Terror seems to be struggling a little bit here at the back. So I know.
Oh, someone's off. Hugo's is off.
Hugo's is off. No. Okay, so.
Oh my word.
He's run wide and he's running really slow here. I wonder what's happened here.
That must be heartbreaking for Hugos.
Yeah, he slowed down strangely there on the line, so I wonder if he has some kind of an issue here.
Okay, so that put Pretorius in first, Benz on second, Thimo third, Trevor, Terry Incognito fourth, and then our championship leader in fifth position.
Yeah.
Oh, so, that just opens it wide for everyone, wide open.
So we have a double McLaren front, let's say.
Oh yes, of course. Benz, it's just not teammates. That's the only thing.
Yeah. So of course, yeah, but same car.
Yes.
And Thimo desperately trying to hang on to the back of these guys, but they've managed to break a small gap to him now. So Thimo is about 1.3 behind the leading two, and Terror.
Ben's all over the back of Terror. I mean Pretoria. Sorry.
Yeah, and they were 4 tenths quicker on that lap than Thimo and Terror. So looks like the McLaren maybe is better toward the end of this first stint with their tires.
It's kind of weird. You expect the McLaren to actually be a little bit weaker in the corners, aren't they? And
No,
the
I
BM's
think that
better on
it's actually the other way around. That the BMW is better on the straights, and then the McLaren is strong in corners. And Thimo actually has managed to close that gap again to under 1 second. So he's not letting these guys run away with it.
Oh no, Benz is definitely there to win this race.
Yep.
He's picked up his pace, and also Team is slowly but surely coming closer and closer.
So as I
We might be a great finish.
expected here a little bit was that we would see, well, let's say the mistakes on track would probably make a big impact on this race, and that's definitely what has happened here. So Hugo, I don't know what happened there. Did he block up and run wide or whatever happened? But he,
Sure, I just saw him going wide onto the cross, and
yeah,
everybody passed him. I think he must have made a mistake and just went wide slightly.
yeah.
Couldn't get it back.
Hugo trying to storm back to the BMW guys here, and he was 7 tenths faster than Terror on that lap, so he's definitely putting the pressure back on the BMWs, and he really needs to do that as well. And Cursed, in all this action up front, has also managed to overtake Toto, so Cursed up to P6, and the top 6 so far is pretty much what we would have expected based on testing this week, I would say. Now that Cursed has managed to climb his way back there as well.
Oh, Ben's is wide. Ben's is wide.
Oh
He's
no! So he's
being passed by the Tim. And Terra now also comes into the inside of Ben's.
yeah.
Ben's going wide again.
So I think Terra will make a move here into the turn 7, and he does.
And he does.
So Band's
Brilliant move.
running wide in the first section, first fast right-hander in the middle of the track, and then Terra runs wide as well. So will Band's get it actually back? He does. So
it's a really tough track.
a lot of action here now, and Hugo trying to make a move here on Terra as well in all that action. So it's I wonder if they're just slowly starting to get to the edge of their tire life here.
Probably, because this track is really a really difficult track with all the elevation through the corners, as you can see.
Yeah.
The grip levels differ almost from every corner to corner, you know, due to the elevation.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of concentration to keep it up, bearing in mind the tires are also falling off. So yeah, tough, really tough.
Yeah, definitely. And Terror in a McLaren Ferrari sandwich now in P4. So Hugo pressuring him, and Terror trying to hold on to Bands. So all this action has actually.
Back in third.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep. And so all this action has actually let Pretorius and Thimo run away with it a little bit. So Bands has dropped almost 4 seconds behind these guys, and Pretorius is in a really good position to win this race at the moment. So if he just can keep it on track and make a good pit stop, he will be in a very good position here to the end of the race. It looks like Thimo is just fractionally slower than Pretorius, at least. Right now he's a little bit over 2 seconds away, and seems to be dropping back a tiny bit. He's 2.5 tenths slower on this lap.
Yep. Pretorius pulling a nice gap. He's coming up to who says that he's lapping. Is that
I think it's Veldmeneke, yeah. It's Veldmeneke.
Oh, okay.
So okay, he's Veldmeneke. I think maybe he retires. Yes. So he's out of the running for now. So what do we have actually here? So closest battle on track is pretty much this top 5 here. So
Yeah.
Hugo.
I'm also going through everyone to see if I see any battles, but it's
Yeah.
just
So
the top 5,
yeah, it's
unfortunate.
just Hugo 0.9 behind Terror, but it's looks like the passing on this track is really difficult unless the car in front makes a mistake. So and I think everybody is just slowly starting to struggle on their tires. So this wonder when we're gonna see the first pit stops. Probably in a few minutes. So we have.
Ghost is also running nicely in P6.
Yeah, he's managed to pick up the pace as well a little bit, and Toto actually as well, because Toto is only 2 seconds away from Kirst, so he's
Yes.
found some speed over this, because I think Kirst passed him a few laps ago, and he's still only 2 seconds away.
Yeah, Chris looks like he's caught up with Terror slightly.
Yep.
Yeah, we might see a pause soon, yeah.
Bant sets the fastest lap of the race with a 23.7, so that's almost a second faster than Pretorius up front.
Someone just found his pace.
Yeah,
That's
so,
what we were talking about
I think
from
Bant's
his earlier practice.
was Bant's actually quicker on this lap than he was in qualifying. That's
Good question.
almost anyway. So that's
I think it's about 2 tenths difference, but it's almost there. I mean, for race pace to compare
yeah,
to almost your qualifying lap,
and,
that is fast.
and they're like 7 or 8 laps in the race or something. So that's quite good at this point in the race. So maybe for viewers that don't know, we are not running a set amount of laps here. We are running 40 minutes, and whenever we reach that time, that will be the final lap of the race when the leader is on that lap. So on this track we're looking something like 15 laps or whatever, 16 laps. I think so. No, that's more. No, is it? I can't count. Maybe I'll not even try.
Not really any action going on around the track. Everybody's pretty evenly spread at the moment.
Yeah. So it's actually more like. No, let's not even try. My mathematics is not that good, so.
Oh, someone's off. Is that
Oh.
Popo? Clara's off.
Oh, yeah, and Clara trying to get out of the way
P9.
here, and so.
Getting and OceanChief also going around the
so
outside of Clara.
Both Neil Thompson and OceanChief making a move on Clara. Clara, is he out of fuel here or what's happened?
It's
Because
something's wrong. He's going really slow.
No, he's going again. So maybe he had a penalty, because I know the penalties in this game work that if you cut the corner, you have to slow down to a certain speed to serve it, and maybe that's what happened there. He's now 8.5 seconds behind OceanChief. So we did say this earlier in the race that Chief or Clara was in his P10. So
see, Chief is hanging onto the back of Bailey's head.
Yeah, this is actually the closest battle on track. So I don't know how old Neil is, but I think we're fairly certainly looking at the 2H presidents in this race.
Yeah. I can see on Chief's car he's got a lot of damage around the bodywork.
Yeah, it looks pretty banged up.
Probably
at McLaren.
from that incident on lap 1.
Yeah, so let's hope we can hear from Chief and what actually happened there. I just saw a bunch of cars going off. He's hanging on to Neil here, so 0.8 down.
Yeah, he's definitely closing up.
Yep. So that McLaren looking good in the fast section of the track. And Chief trying to find a way past Neil Thompson here for P9. Hugo has actually also managed to close the gap. Let's see, Chief is very close here on the main straight.
On the main straight.
And is he gonna make a move into turn 1? Late on the brakes, but Neil's also, and manages to take the line in front of Chief. So Chief unable to make a move so far.
It won't be long before he's gonna make another move again.
Yep.
Seems like Mr. Thompson's really struggling at the moment with either his tires or something.
Yeah, and also up front, by the way, Hugo is only 0.4 behind Terror, so I'm gonna hop onto that battle for now, and maybe you can keep an eye on Chief and
we'll do that.
Neil. And Hugo 0.7 down on Terror, coming down the main straight. And Hugo actually pits now. He's the first to pull the trigger on that, I think. So Hugo into
Probably
the
trying
pits.
the undercut.
Yep. And I think it might be strong here, as long as he can make the tires last to the end of the race. So Hugo in the pits.
OceanChief all over the back now of Neil.
Yeah, but
Seems like
unable
he's.
to. And Popo also pits from
Oh,
P8.
almost made contact.
Oh, and Chief on the
I think you need to
outside.
focus on this pedal. It's going around the outside.
Yeah, and Chief does make the move, I think. So and Neil Thompson
Oh,
actually
but
pits.
come
So
on! As soon as we started getting some action.
yeah,
No.
and Chief actually comes right behind Hugo. The effective P5 in the race, I think, was before this pit stop. So let's keep an eye on what Hugo can make here. I think most of these people are gonna pit on this lap, and Chief definitely will have to pit as well, I think.
Yeah.
And I wonder if he's gonna set that pit crew to repair that damage, because then it's gonna be a very long pit stop. But we'll see. Take an eye on that. And who's that diving into the pits? That's Pretorius. So Pretorius, the leader of the race, pits.
And we have a close battle between NJJ and P12. Man, who's this guy?
It's Manku.
Oh,
I think.
Manko. It's Manko.
Yep.
Manko.
Yep.
Manko's all over the back of NJJ.
I'm gonna check where Pretorius comes out in
Alright.
relation to Hugo here. So Pretorius still. Oh no, there's one McLaren at the back who's. I think Toto had to back up or something, so his pit stop is messed up. Pretorius out of the pits, and looks like he is well ahead of Hugo, because Hugo is just coming out of the final corner now. So Pretorius has got a good lead over Hugo here.
Yeah, so that undercut didn't work as well as Hugo thought it would.
Yeah, and Hugo's actually behind Terror still here, so maybe something in his pit stop didn't go quite right.
Maybe he had some damage or something that we don't know if that he had fixed.
Yeah, because he's lost about 2 seconds to Terror here, or at least 1.5 seconds to Terror on this pit stop.
Manko's still all over the back of NJJ.
Yeah. Unable to make that move, and Thimo also dives into the pits from the lead of the race.
This is gonna be interesting.
Let's see where he actually drops here. He was running P2, so I think it's now about maybe those fresh tires don't turn on as quickly as they would expect, and maybe that's why Hugo lost some time there. We don't know, but
yeah.
Let's see what Pretorius gonna make against Thimo here. Thimo still
Look, these cars are not easy to drive.
Yep.
It's something to get used to.
And Pretorius coming down the pit straight, and I think will he be able to get Thimo here? Yes, because Pretorius is running at a full pace, but Thimo is right behind him actually, so this is gonna be a battle to the end of the race.
Oh, yes.
So Thimo's only 0.6 down, so I wonder if there is a thing about turning on those tires on this track before you can actually get up to speed.
We'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Because it looks like the overcut has been quite
more
good here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bantz has also lost time here in the pit stops because he's 4 seconds behind Thimo.
Track temperature has gone up to 28 degrees now.
Yeah.
Slightly up. I think it has gone up with 2 degrees.
Yeah. So I think that just happens over the race, but so what?
Thimo is all over the back of Pretorius. Something's happening here.
Chief taking his P10 after his pit stops, but he's well behind Neil Thompson here, isn't he? So
Thimo is lining up Pretorius here for a move on the main straight.
Yep. So let's get back
going
to
to
that.
Sterling's bend now and then going to, what is it, Sheen Sweep, what do you call it?
Yep. And
Clearways. The last corner before you get onto the
yep.
main straight.
Thimo very close back to the back of Pretorius here, but I think turn 1 is really not easy to overtake into. Pretorius goes a little bit defensive here, and let's Thimo get a really good run on him onto the second corner, but and Pretorius once again has to go a little bit defensive here to prevent Thimo from lunging to that gap.
Yeah. I think the McLaren is really struggling a little bit more than the BMW through the corners. You can see on the straight how
Yeah,
the McLaren pulled away from him.
yeah, I'm a little bit surprised about that actually, because usually it's the other way around, that the BMW is not that strong in the corners.
Timo just waiting for a mistake from Pretorius. He's hanging on to the back of that McLaren.
Yeah, and
Won't be
Triton,
long. Sooner or later he's gonna make a move.
we have Mr. Triton cheering on Thimo in the chat, and he's saying to Thimo to keep the pressure on Pretorius, and he will eventually make a mistake. We have 16 minutes to go, so that's
Yep.
Thimo obliges and is putting the pressure on Pretorius. 0.4 seconds behind him, but unable to
Timo
find a way
sitting and
past that
waiting.
for now anyway. Yeah, looks like that McLaren is really good in the straight line, which is
Timo claimed he's upgraded his overtake status. Let's see if he can put it to the test.
what will it be if he makes a move? 6, 7, something like that.
Yeah.
Overtake stats.
Come on,
7.
Timo. You are the favorite for the championship.
Yeah.
We need to see some action, Timo. Prove us wrong.
Either way, this looks to be a race where Hugo will lose some of his standings in the championship, because he's, of course, I think he's gonna lead regardless of what happens here today, but
let me have a look at the standings.
yeah, Pretorius.
Yeah.
If Hugo doesn't get anything, I think Pretorius might be able to go
Yeah,
into the lead with
Pretorius
1
is
point.
24 points behind him.
Yeah.
So if he wins and he doesn't get any point, Pretorius will be the new championship leader.
Yep.
With Thimo in third place at 56 at the moment, 10 points behind Pretorius.
Yep. But so far Hugo is in P5, so that's still some good points for him. And Hugo also trying to put pressure on Terror Incognita, which he has actually after his pit stop, I think, all the way, but unable to find a way past. So we have two good battles here on track at the moment for the lead of the race and for P4. And those are easily the closest battles. And Cursed also, after his pit stop, is behind Toto again, so he has to overtake him once again.
Yep, for sure. Seems like Cursed is hanging onto the back of Toto.
Yeah, and I wonder if Cursed has some
enough to
issue
get closer.
here, because he's I think he should be faster than that, but yeah, I don't know. Might have missed some. Oh, and Terror goes wide there, and lets Hugo get a run on him into turn 4, and
he's going slow. Terror's going slow.
He might have got a penalty for that, running wide there, and he had to slow down because of that. That might be what happened.
He's lost a lot of time with that.
Yeah, 3 seconds behind Hugo now.
That is unfortunate.
Hugo manages to get that P4, but he now has 7 seconds ahead of him to that Bantz, who is running in P3. And Bantz has also actually managed to close the gap to the leading duo a little bit, because he was about 4.5 seconds behind them after the pit stops, and he's only 2.9 now. So
it's also seeming that Pretorius has finally found his groove. Yep. Putting the hammer down in the front. Thimo working really hard to hang on to the back of that McLaren.
Bailey
definitely increased the gap slightly.
Bailey Thompson asking in the chat that do you have to change tires? I think you can use the same tires, but you, of course, want to change to the same set of softs again, like a fresh set of softs. I mean, but you can
have to
use
go
the
in
same
for
tire.
fuel anyway, so.
Yeah, but you don't have to change like the tire compound, I think, in the race. So that's what it looks like to me, that everybody's been running on softs the entire race, every race actually this season. So yeah, I hope you got that, Bailey. I will maybe write it in the chat as well. You don't.
Alright, so Clara's catching up to OceanChief at the moment.
Okay.
Clara all over the back of Ocean. There's some action going on.
Yep. So let's have a look at that. Thimo also 0.3 behind Pretorius at the same time. So
11 and a half more minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
will Thimo get his overtake stat to 7? It's the question of this race, and Clara really challenging Chief hard for his beloved P10. And that's not gonna be
McLaren
easy.
looks pretty badly banged up.
Yeah, is it still so? Maybe Chief opted not to repair that damage that he got in the... And Thimo only 0.2 behind Pretorius now, and Pretorius once again has to go a little bit defensive into 3. No, turn 2 actually, sorry. Mixed up here.
Clara
So,
now all over the back of Chief. Thinking about a move on the back straight.
and Thimo also 0.3 behind Pretorius, so I'm gonna stick with Thimo and Pretorius here for now, because Thimo is only 0.3 behind Pretorius into the fast section of the track. Really trying to pressure Pretorius into a mistake here. But
This is so close. This is
0.2.
great racing by Thimo
Yeah,
and Pretorius.
and that's not really somewhere you can just send it, but Thimo tries anyway. But Pretorius
He's
hanging
gonna
on to
have
the lead for now.
Yeah, he's gonna try and have to keep really close to that McLaren when he goes onto the straight. Try and hang on to that slipstream or something.
I think at the back actually in the action with Clara and OceanChief, Clara's made a mistake and he's 3 seconds from OceanChief now. So it's Chief defending his P10 with all his might, and he's
See
actually...
what happens with the Thimo and Pretorius on the straight. Yeah, once again that McLaren pulled slightly away from the BMW.
And that is very surprising to
Oh,
me.
someone went off. Who's that in front of them?
That's Manku, I think, in the Porsche. He's beached in the gravel, trying to get a move.
Farming, like they say.
Yep. Chief trying to make a move on Neil Thompson here as well, actually. So he's managed to catch up back to Neil. And they're fighting for P9 here. And, Neil runs wide there, so Chief up to P9.
Nice. Well done, Mr. Chief.
Good comeback from Chief after his... and Neil runs wide again at the second section of that... second corner of that fast section. So Neil Thompson in a bit of a trouble here at the moment, and he's down 2 positions in the P11 at the moment. So, Chief has managed to get up to P9 after that crash on lap 1, after which he was running dead last for a while.
We'll see if Clara can catch up again to him.
Yeah, it looks like he is catching up to him, but so we have seen with
3 wide on the main straight, back mocker.
Yeah, that's
being passed by the leaders.
That's NJJ letting the top 3 go, I think. Yeah, he's gonna let Bans go here, so that's good stuff from NJJ getting out of the way.
Like Bans is also sneaked in closer.
Yeah, he's slowly got in there because he's been a few tenths faster each lap than the...
Yeah, he must be enjoying the battle up in the front with the top 2.
Yeah.
Allowing him to come closer and closer.
And Bans will be also interested in the win of this race at this rate. Hugo behind Bans is all 8 seconds away, so I think this top 3 here is pretty much settled unless they come together or something, which we of course do not hope. We saw enough of that 2 weeks ago at Austria. So Bans is only 1.2 away from Thimo, and Thimo is 0.7 from Pretorius, and looks like this is going to be a three-way train soon.
Yep.
And Clara has overtaken
Chief. Finish.
So Chief has dropped to P10. And looks like Chief is maybe struggling with that car a little bit, so he's a couple of seconds slower than Clara on that lap.
Thimo is really struggling to keep up with that McLaren. It won't be long before he's under threat from the other McLaren behind him, Mr. Ban.
Yep.
So yeah. If he wants this move to be done, he's gonna have to do it within the slower part of the track, around the corner somewhere,
So we
because
have,
that BMW is definitely not got the straight line speed
yeah,
compared to the McLaren.
that's what it looks like. So and we have Mr. Astro Boy in chat as well, by the way. So maybe Astro, you
Hello,
can
Mr.
give
Subaru.
a setup for Chief for the next time.
Or maybe we can ask Jensen.
Yeah. So it's
But yes, like Jensen said earlier,
yeah. So
13th of December, another Extreme Rivals tournament coming up, and
who
we're
is that?
bringing some new leagues to the table.
Tabantz runs wide in the fast section, so all that good work that he's done to catch up to this leading duo here is
Yep.
gone, and he's back
Oh,
4 seconds away from Thimo after that. And I think those
Timo's
tires probably are not going to be in very good shape after that either.
Timo's trying to push or force Pretorius into a mistake, but Pretorius is so calm,
Yeah,
cool, calm, and collective behind that wheel.
and
He's just doing an astonishing job.
so I think the only way for Thimo here is to actually
Yes, but
do get Pretorius to make a mistake. Otherwise, I think he will not be able to do anything about.
yep. Come on, Timo, show us your overtake status.
Pretorius always taking a little bit of a
Wider line.
tighter line into that corner, but on Thimo, that's why I'm thinking he's going defensive, but I think that's just the racing line that he takes through there. So, yeah. Thimo 0.5.
5 more minutes. 5 more minutes.
So we're looking at something like 4 more laps, I think.
Most likely.
This is pretty much the only close battle on track because Cursed and Toto, they're 1.7 each between each other, and Chief is about 2 seconds away from Clara, so in P10, of course. What else?
They're still running in P5 all on his own.
Yeah, so after that,
Slowly coming back into the groove. I'm sure he will be back in full force with the next race. He's
yeah,
been on holiday for a while,
yep.
so yeah, needs to find his groove.
Terra missed the Austria GP, of course, 2 weeks ago.
The best track of them all he missed. How can he do that?
It was a carnage race. Jensen commentating that with me, and we were busy trying to keep track of all the incidents that we had there. But it's been cleaner today, which I am at least happy about.
Yeah, cleaner but a lot more bored.
Yeah,
On
of
the
course.
commentary side.
So yeah, I guess as Jensen said in the chat actually a few minutes ago that you can't really pass on this track. So I know for a fact that it's a very fun track to drive. I did some laps before this broadcast myself on the track, but I think it's just not really possible to overtake unless the car in front makes a mistake. So, but that will definitely be different 2 weeks from now when we go to Spa with the GT3 cars.
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
Yep.
Oh, Thimo is very
Yep.
close to that McLaren now. Very close.
Trying to hang on into that slipstream of Pretorius, but I think you can't really do anything about it into this section of the track.
You can see how hard Thimo is pushing now.
Yeah. But Pretorius so far has been diamond up there and not made a single mistake. So kept Thimo at bay. And they are, if we finish like this, they are gonna catch Hugo's a little bit on the championship table. So,
yep. That
Hugo
should
also
be another
having that
2
issue
more
early.
laps.
Yep, sorry, yep, go ahead.
No, I was just saying 2 more laps.
Yep. Hugo also, of course, having that issue earlier in the race when he ran wide, and I think he got a penalty after that, so where he had to slow the car down. Thimo really putting the pressure on Pretorius, but just can't find a way through. And he's closer than ever into the fast section, but
Was that NJJ? P11?
Yeah, NJJ is off track. So Thimo, Neil Thompson actually sets his best lap on the server.
Thimo once again all over the back of that McLaren.
Yeah. But
Is that OceanChief they're coming up to? Lep.
Yeah, it is actually. So Chief will probably have to get out of the way here. Thimo 0.3, 0.2 behind, but just
really
can't find
pushing
a
their
way.
BMW.
And I think the next lap will be the last lap of the race.
Definitely. 1
So,
minute 35 seconds on average, 34.
yeah, so we're about to
20.
start the
Last lap.
final lap of the race. And
Let's
this is
go!
when Thimo has to do it if he wants to win this race. And so far Pretorius has kept it clean after his pit stop and kept Thimo behind him. And Thimo clearly with more pace and tries to send one there, but there is really no way to get past through there. So Thimo clearly has had more pace after this pit stop, but is unable to get past.
Really great racing by the two top drivers at the moment.
Yeah, and
Thimo
this is kind of a
pushing so
trademark
hard.
of this AC series that every time on the final lap we have we have a big battle. So of course nothing different
reminds
here.
reminds me of the very first race between Timo and Tero
Yeah,
on the
they
Watkins Clean. Oh, what a race that was!
sprint to the line where Thimo won by 0.1 second or something like that.
Yeah. Ooh,
Thimo
Timo really,
almost
really
trying to
close.
the back of Pretorius there. And he's 0.1 down, and will he try to send one down the inside here into the penultimate corner? I don't think he was able to do that, so Pretorius is one corner from winning this race. Clara getting out of the way. So what's happening here? Is Clara out of fuel or what's happening? Because he's slowed down big time.
Alright, so then Pretorius comes down on the main straight and takes the win of this Brand Hatch race, followed closely by Timo over the line. What a
0.3 seconds between them. So Bant's coming home
coming
in
home
third,
third.
and he also got pretty close after that mistake he made, so 1.6. Hugo in P4 and Terra Incognita across the line in P5. And Curse seems to have actually dropped behind Toto at some point here on the final laps. So Toto in P6.
Oh, Monkus lost it again into the barriers.
Oh.
Was that on the last corner?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. So Toto
Oh
also coming
no.
across the line in P6, and that's a pretty good result from Toto, I think, because I heard him say that he really doesn't like this track early.
It's a really tough track, man.
Yeah, and that's a good result from him, I would say. Cursed coming home in 7th, and I know he had high hopes for this race, but P7 is what Cursed gets today. And Popo in P8, OceanChief about to finish in P9, so with a very banged up McLaren, that's what it really looks like. The side pod of that car is really smashed up.
OceanChief coming through the last corner onto the straight in, what is it, P9?
Yeah, that's the P9, so Clara, I wonder what happened to him, because he
Good job, Chief.
sort of let Chief and the leading pack through there, and Chief gets his points, 2 points today.
Oh!
They smash into each other with Popo there.
Alright, time for some interviews.
Yeah, so anybody who wants to talk to us, please, or should we just drag people in? Maybe we'll do that. So, I think Pretorius, we will probably not get an interview, so we're just gonna take Thimo, I guess. So Thimo, we are gonna yoink Thimo into the interview booth here. So
oh, wait. Give me a second to get a good mic.
okay.
Okay.
Sure.
It's literally a second.
Okay.
It is.
I think it's a good idea to get Pretorius in here too.
Yeah, if he so Pretorius, if you're listening, please join us in the interview booth. But we'll start with Thimo anyway. Once he gets his.
I'm here. I'm
Okay,
here. This
so-
is the microphone I want to talk with.
Okay, so that was a very tight race between you and Pretorius all the way after the pit stop, and you guys were within 0.3, 0.2 seconds
Yeah.
every lap pretty much after the pit stop, but you just couldn't find a way through.
Yeah.
It is basically really difficult to overtake on this track, right?
Honestly, yeah. There's not, to my knowledge, there's not a single proper overtaking spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't know where to get past. There was just like there's a lot of, I mean, there's basically two corners where I think you might be able to put in like a very ambitious dive, like turn one. You can maybe if the car ahead of you is taking it wide, or like how's it called? A Surtees, the very long left-hander that leads into the forest. Like
Yeah.
these are maybe corners where you can maybe do something, but there's really not a lot of overtaking room on this track. And I mean, I've certainly thought about absolutely sending it on Pretorius, but then in the end I realized let's not throw 350 laps of practice away.
Yeah.
Let's not do that. So yeah, I didn't. Congratulations to everyone.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we have
thanks.
also Pretorius here in the chat with us, our race winner today. So how was that for you? You kept it together for 20 minutes after the pit stop, with pressure from Thimo
Yeah.
every single lap after that. So
I hope you felt something.
Yeah, he really did put the pressure on, but yeah, as he was saying, it's really hard to overtake.
yeah.
And I was just driving carefully, basically, to not make.
Yeah.
And that,
By the way, your like the three right-handers in like the forest section.
Yeah.
On the last lap, on the second one, your braking point gave me a massive stroke. I had
What?
such a big heart attack. You broke so early for that corner.
Oh,
Like
shit.
normally you were no, it was all fine. But normally you broke like 20 meters later there and like softened. Suddenly you were like in my face. It was oops. Oh, it's fine. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah,
you just
nothing
did the
happened.
reasonable thing to bring it home.
And
I'm glad.
so it looked like you had quite good straight line speed. That's what it looked like to me and Wimpy at least. That we were surprised that the McLaren was that good in the straight line. So I don't know, where was Thimo also running some
No.
higher drag setup or what?
Yeah.
But
Oh, I was actually running lower wings.
okay.
Like I think the BMW base setup is decent, and everything I did was change tire pressures and adjust assists and what was I about to say? Yeah, lower the wing. That's all I did. So I think I was decent on the straight line. And was just like I was very bad at following Pretorius through corners, and so I always got like poor runs, and then I was never like
Yeah.
even in these places where I described to you, you can do like naughty stuff and
Yeah.
maybe do something. I wasn't even close enough to even try it, so
Yeah.
yeah.
So trademark of this series has been that we have like a point like couple of tenths of a second between the leading cars on the final lap, and this race was no exception. So it's been very fun to commentate these races at least. So yeah, do you guys have any last words before we get some other guys in?
Props to Bans. I think he was the quickest guy today, but he crashed twice in the same corner. First time I heard it was apparently because his force feedback faded.
Yeah.
So that's very unlucky, and I'm sorry. He was super quick.
Yeah, so we're actually gonna bring
very
maybe get this podium interview together. So we're gonna join Mr.
Hello gamers.
That band here into the chat, and so just to continue what Thimo just said there, you were very fast today, but you had a couple of mistakes in the second, or is it the first corner of the fast section in the forest?
Yeah, the first section there. Yeah.
So
I was trying so hard.
Yeah.
Like never before, honestly. I was
And you were kind of faster than those guys up front, but then a few laps from the end you ran wide again and lost another 4 seconds to those guys. So
yeah, but at that point it didn't really bother me because I wasn't gonna get past both of them. It's not possible to do that.
Yeah.
Like I told myself I would go for a dive bomb if I had someone half a second in front of me into a corner. I would go for it, just see what goes.
Yeah.
But considering Thimo was tailgating Pretorius, it wasn't gonna work. So the fact that I made the mistake at the end didn't change it. If I hadn't made the first mistake, I think I could have probably gotten Pretorius. I don't know if it was slowing down on purpose because Thimo couldn't get past or what, but at times I was pulling a second a lap after I had the first mistake. So I don't know what was happening there, but I think that's my mistake.
I feel like he was backing off in the corners where he knew that he would like block me on the apex or something.
Yeah.
Like he basically, I think you were very slow compared to what I know you can do in the corners, where I couldn't get past anyway. Like, it was, I
That's
don't
the
know.
smart thing to do in the lead
Yeah,
anyway,
it
because
really is.
you can't
Yeah.
get overtaken. Like no one would ever make a move there, so might as well take your time.
It was the right thing to
You
do.
know?
Yeah.
But
I think
obviously,
it's
if you're
after Boston.
anything but first, then you got a full attack on those corners. I gotta try to
Yeah.
if you wanna get with the guys in front. But yeah.
So
Whew.
very fun track to drive. I can attest to
Oh,
that.
yes.
But then
Oh, yeah.
difficult
My
to
favorite so
overtake.
far.
But in 2 weeks we're gonna have a little bit of a different story with Spa. And I
Actually,
think,
next week.
is it next week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Oh.
yeah, we're gonna
Oh.
do a couple weeks in succession because of
Ah,
the
okay.
fact we don't have F1.
So for next week, maybe just
too long.
saying that I will not be here next weekend because I'm in London. But yeah, let's worry about it after the
Epic. Yeah,
race.
we'll
So,
get something set up, I'm sure.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, no
So
problem.
okay,
Alright,
but
go.
I'm sure that track will be a different story with the overtaking. I think. Hopefully.
We'll be moving you guys out, and then we'll
Yep.
get in
Alright.
some.
So thanks,
But
guys.
thanks and congratulations to the
Yeah,
podium, guys. Well done. Great racing.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And who do we want to talk to? Do we want to talk
Chief
to?
and Bailey, let's get them in.
Yeah, let's get them in. So, yoink.
Hello, Mr. Chief and Mr. Neil Thompson.
Hello.
Hello.
So who do we start with? Chief here. I don't know which one of you is older, but we were contemplating that you guys probably were the age presidents on the track, and you had a pretty good race there as well.
Yeah, we were just talking about it. I had a bit of a issue at the start. There was a few incidents. I don't know if Neil got caught up in any of them, but I got caught out by, I think Jesse had spun
Yeah.
or whatever, so I clocked him badly, and thankfully the car didn't feel too bad, and I was able to continue on. So I just kept trucking away, and then I was able to catch up with Neil. But I think we were being too nice. We were giving each other way too much
Yeah.
space, and
Definitely.
and it got to the point where it was just like we're going through like too wide for a corner, but very, very slowly and very far away from each other. And I mean, I think we're kind of similar pace. And then I was just saying to Neil, he pitted first, then I pitted the next lap. And whenever I came out of my pit stop, he was 14 seconds ahead of me, and I just couldn't understand what was going on. I was like,
I
what
was
did I do
wondering
wrong?
what happened there as well. I mean, maybe did you have some damage to your car fixed or something? I don't know, but
No, I didn't select any damage to be fixed, but Neil can explain. He was saying to me there what happened.
Yes, I didn't change my tyres the first pit stop.
Ah, okay, so
Oh no.
yeah, so
Schoolboy error.
okay, so next time you know.
Yes. And I've just realised I've been practicing in the wrong car for the past 2 weeks.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
no.
So
So I didn't have any setups or anything.
Oh no.
you were not doing too bad then, considering.
No,
So,
yeah.
So
But it's good to have you take part in this
Yeah.
event, Mr. Neil Thompson.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Like they say, like father, like son.
Yeah, hopefully.
so
Picking back to Chief.
I was actually saying in
sorry.
chat that it would be fun to see Bailey and Neil both here, but maybe in the same team. But okay. So,
I think Bailey's a bit faster, maybe.
yeah. So what are you saying, Wimpy? Sorry.
No, I was getting back to the Chief story with his damage. We were pretty confident that you were carrying some damage on the car by the looks of your bodywork on stream. It was pretty badly banged up after that incident on lap 1, and we thought you might have had some damage that was keeping you a little bit back, but you came back strongly in the middle of the race. I think Kirst was catching you or something, and then he made a mistake. Was it Kirst? I think it was.
Oh,
Kirst.
it was Clara. So it was
Clara.
Yeah, I
The
don't
other
know.
Ferrari.
I don't know what was going on with Clara because he got ahead of me. He definitely had pace on me, and then whenever he got ahead of me, he would stay ahead for a couple of laps, and then he would just slow down on a straight.
I'm guessing he might have picked up a penalty because if you remember how the penalties work in this game, you have to slow down to a certain speed.
I have a story about that because like in previous races, I never got any of those kind of penalties, and I'm kind of new to Assetto Corsa. So this game, I was cutting all sorts of corners, and then I got this message. It said like slow down by 5 seconds, or else slow down to 35 miles per hour.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, but I don't know what it meant by slow down by 5 seconds. Like, how does it determine when you slow down by 5 seconds?
Stay over the throttle by 5 seconds, I guess.
Yeah, I kind of slowed down for a bit, and then I went, right, I'll just slow down to 35, and then I slowed down to 35, looked in my rearview mirror, and I saw NJJ just flying towards me, and smashed into the back of me, and I was like, no, what am I doing? Um,
Okay.
yeah, I've already messaged him to say sorry, but he was like, yeah, you should probably slow down off the racing line next time. But
Okay.
yeah, I seem to be able to only focus on one thing at a time, and if it says slow down, then I'm like totally that's my world, and then I'm yeah, I need to
Yeah.
work on that. But
Okay.
it's like Neil with the pit stop. I did that my first race as well. So maybe in your fourth race you'll get a slow down and just slow down the racing line, kill someone.
Seems like we got Mr. Billos Marteka here as well for an interview.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
Hey,
meet
let's
some of
get
these guys. And
let's
that's
get
only
Kirst in as well.
Kirst.
Is Milos here? Cannot hear from you
Check.
if he is here. So are you muted, Milos?
oh, he's
Because
in. I cursed. Oh, he's out again.
oh,
Oh, there he is.
that's not actually Kirst. That's me speaking because I forgot my name.
Hello.
Is Milos here?
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah.
So I have to say that on stream we kind of missed whatever happened to you at the start and stuff because we saw that you were behind Toto for much of the race and did you have some incidents or what happened there? Can you tell us about your race?
Well, yeah, lap one's pretty hectic. After start, Toto yoinked into me. I don't really know. He just kind of pushed me wide, and then I know
Okay.
Popo got hit by someone, and then Popo, out of control, hit me.
Ah,
So
alright.
I was basically last by that point.
Okay.
Yeah, I got back to P6, no problem. Then I got a 5-second slowdown for losing time in the grass, Mies.
Ah, okay. So because we saw
Uh,
that you almost caught up to Hugo after his
yeah,
mistake.
yeah.
So
Yeah, and I got 2 of those 5-second penalties for losing time, which wasn't very epic.
yeah.
But yeah, I should have got paid. It's like a really silly mistake. I spun on like the third last laps. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was just really stupid from me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't the most enjoyable race today. So
Yeah, unfortunately, because I knew at least that you have the pace, but yeah, it is what it is, I guess.
yeah,
So
I mean, yeah,
un-
like
unlucky for you today,
yeah,
but we'll be back at Spa in a week, I guess. So
hope.
maybe
Yeah.
maybe I'll try and catch some of that action on my phone or something because I will not be here in a week. Anyway, any last words from Chief, Neil, or Kirst?
I'd just like to say I was setting 24s in the practice, and
Yeah.
every time I go to race, I don't know, I feel like I tense up, I feel like my buttocks just like pucker up or whatever, and I'm like, I can't race as well, I'm like too stiff or something. So I
I
think,
think you're not
yeah,
the only one.
yeah, probably, but the guys up front, like, I have a lot of respect for those guys because they're running like side by side for what 40 minutes, and like
Yeah.
on Brands Hatch, on Austria, that's a nice track. It's quite wide and whatever. But Brands Hatch, it's like, you know yourself. You've been practicing a wee bit on the track, and it's so easy to lose it or just go in the dirt or whatever.
Yeah.
So big respect to the guys up at the front. But yeah, I have a few people messaging me saying they're disappointed I didn't get P10.
Yeah,
So
P9.
better luck next time.
You were
I'll try to.
running in P10 for a long time though.
Yeah, I was happy while I was P10, and then I got P9. It was like, what is this weird position I'm in right now? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
that's
yeah, I guess I had something to say, but I forgot what it was. So uh, do we have anything else to say, Wimpy?
nah. It was
Yeah.
a good race.
Yeah. Always fun to
Hopefully we're looking
commentate
forward
this. So
yeah. Um, hopefully we're looking forward to a more exciting race on Spa next weekend.
yeah. So maybe one thing, Wimpy. Do we have a driver of the day for today? What are we thinking?
Drive of the day. I would give it to Pretorius. He's been doing an astonishing job, staying cool, calm, and collective under the pressure of Mr.
Yeah.
Thimo Brown. And,
Yeah, and
I don't think even he made one mistake, did he?
Yeah, so it's I would have to agree with you because
He's just done a brilliant job.
sort of
Take that win.
easy to pick the guy who wins the race, but he just kept his head cool for 20 minutes with Thimo pressuring him a couple of tenths away. So
Yeah, I kept saying Timo's just waiting for that mistake. He's waiting, but it never came. And Timo was supposed to start pushing harder and harder, and Timo almost pushed himself into a mistake.
yeah,
And
so
he just kept it cool, calm, and like they say, collective.
yeah,
And won the race. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think he truly deserves it.
okay, so Pretorius is our driver of the day for this race, and I suppose that just about wraps it up for this stream. So as Bant said earlier, the 2SRL GT3 series will be back in a week in Spa. You will have somebody else commentating that race than me, but anyway,
Is it a week or 2 weeks?
I think it's a
2
week.
weeks.
That's
It's
what
next
Bant
week.
said.
Right.
So
Okay.
it's next week.
I reckon it's gonna stretch to 4 and too long.
Yeah.
Because they got 8 more races to go, so that means
Yeah.
it's 8 every second week. So
Right,
that's
Neil,
6.
let's get practicing now.
Yeah. Make sure I've got the right car.
Anyway, everybody.
Yeah. So suppose that's about wraps it up. So we don't have a race on EGL tomorrow on the EGL channel, but on a week from now we have the AC race, and then the next week after that we have the
F2
EGL
on Friday,
tournament.
Don't forget it.
F2 Monaco, yeah.
Monaco Grand Prix next Friday. Don't miss that.
Yep.
The jewel in
We
the
are in
crown.
for some carnage.
Yeah. Maybe it's a good thing I'm not home for that one, but
Yeah. I might leave the
Running
country
away.
too.
Oh no.
yeah. So anyway, thanks everybody for watching, and hope you had some fun watching this race, and we'll see you again in the next race. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Fucking hell.
And we're off.